London AIM and Toronto venture-listed Mkango is a rare earth exploration and development company with its flagship asset in Malawi. It's recently announced a 60% increase in measured and indicated resources at its Songwe Hill project. Will Dawes is chief executive. He joins us here now on IG. Will, welcome.
Good morning.
First of all, why rare earths?
Well, I think rare earths have got a very positive outlook. Rare earths, the demand is geared to high-tech industries, in particular electric vehicles. So we're anticipating a very significant increase in demand for those rare earths which are used in electric vehicles, also used in wind turbines and other clean technologies.
Which rare earth in particular are you interested in?
So it's mainly neodymium. So most of the value within Songwe is attributable to neodymium and also praseodymium as well, both of which go into magnets which go into electric motors for electric vehicles.
And why Malawi particularly? I mentioned the Songwe Hill project, but why Malawi generally?
Well, we've been working in Malawi for over 10 years now. It's a fantastic place to work, very good operating environment. It's also a rare earths mineral province. There's a lot happening in the country. You've got a very supportive government, also a new railway line, developing road network. Even over the last 10 years, we've seen much improved infrastructure, which is key for developing a rare earths project.
Okay, let's take a look at the updated news we had recently on Songwe. How critical is this to the progress?
Well, certainly we achieved our objectives in completing the drilling program. So the pre-feasibility study, which we announced in 2015, was based off a reserve of 8.5 million tonnes. So what we have now is a measured and indicated resource of around 20 million tonnes. And the feasibility study will be based off that larger resource, and we anticipate that sort of underpinning a longer mine life. We're looking at expansion options and also opportunities to lower the stripping ratio and costs. So it's a very significant development for us and provides a very good platform for completing that feasibility study.
And do you have the funding available to take you through to that point?
So under the agreement we have with Talaxis is fully funding the bankable feasibility study for Songwe. So Talaxis invested £5 million into Songwe early last year, and that funded the drilling program and the resource update, plus optimization work for the processing flow sheet and environmental. So the next tranche of funding, which is £7 million, Talaxis will invest on Mkango publishing a 43-101 technical report for this updated resource. So that £7 million will fund us and take us all the way through to completion of the feasibility study.
Yeah, Talaxis is obviously contributing a lot financially. What are they getting out of this? Because clearly what they get, presumably investors in Mkango don't get, but there's a good relationship building here, isn't there? No,
absolutely. We see it as a very sort of strong partnership. We've been spending a lot of time with Talaxis, and as a subsidiary of Noble Group with that network throughout Asia, and I think we see the opportunity in Asia, and we see that growth coming through, as do Talaxis, and there's opportunities outside Asia as well. But certainly, we see it as a mutually beneficial partnership, and I think we share the vision for an outlook that being very positive for rare earths and the electric vehicle sector.
How much involved in the company will Talaxis be ultimately? I mean, assuming that the feasibility study goes to plan and you get that next trigger point for the next part of progress, will Talaxis be involved in that, do you think?
Well, on investment of the £7 million, which for the next tranche of funding, that'll take Talaxis' interest up to 49% in the project. On completion of that feasibility study, Talaxis have an option to increase their interest to 75%, and by funding project development, and they will also receive the offtake. So we're working very closely with Talaxis on sort of marketing opportunities in Asia. And again, I think I see it. I think it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah, with a big partner like that, there is such an influential part of the business. Do you see the need for any other funding that you will have to come to the market for, or would it all come from Talaxis?
Certainly, and the reason we structured the deal, how we originally structured it, is that Talaxis is funding and fully funding that bankable feasibility study at the project level. So thereby we're minimising any further dilution in the top listed company level.
Yeah, this is a problem, isn't it, for AIM-listed companies? I want to bring up the share price because this point about the fact that you're avoiding this dilution. I mean, relatively speaking, this goes back to 2016. I think I can say in all objective honesty that this is a pretty good performer on the AIM-listed market. There's been a lot of concerns about some AIM companies, especially in the resource sector. So you're getting a lot of supporting the stock technically from these lows, in fact, you had back in November 2017, a lot of volatility then. But since then, the stock has done this little bit of an appreciation, now 9.5 pence. What do you tell people that are looking or dancing around this stock and looking at this as an opportunity? How do you sell this as an opportunity for investors at this sort of level?
Well, I think I guess one of the key factors is that transaction with Talaxis, and we structured it in a way in that there were certain key milestones, and those milestones trigger financing at the project level. So, i.e., we're not having to constantly go back to the market at the top company level, which is one of the challenges of being an exploration company. So I think, and this was the deal that we were looking to do, and which we announced in November 2017, and the way we structured it was to have those sort of clear milestones, and then they trigger investment at the project level. So we can really focus on running the business, moving the project forward, rather than the focus on raising money in public markets all the time. So we can really focus on moving that project forward through the feasibility stage.
What do you see as the big calendar dates to watch out for along the process of ultimately producing this metal at the end?
So the next big milestone for us is on publication of the 43-101 technical report. The next investment from Talaxis, which milestone investment, which is £7 million. That takes us to completion of the feasibility study. On completion of the feasibility study, Talaxis has an option to fund development of the project, and that will take their interest to 75%. So between those two milestones, clearly there'll be news coming out on developing the flow sheet, progress with the feasibility study, and other aspects of the business.
Yeah. Do you have a long-term date in mind for production? Are we anywhere nearer getting an idea as to the sort of the grand scheme?
I think with Mkango we have one of the very few advanced stage projects globally. So the timeline is we're looking to get the feasibility study completed as early as possible next year, and then following financing and construction will be about 18 months. So that gives an idea of the sort of timeline we're looking at. But the important thing for us at the moment, and the main focus, is getting the feasibility study done, minimising costs, and building a competitive project.
Good. Okay, well, look, thanks for dropping by
Thank you.
updating us on what's happening there at the Songwe Hill project in Malawi. That's Will Dawes, the Chief Executive of Mkango Resources.